Welcome back one more time, boys and girls. It's game 2 of Sunday. North America continues. Day 2, and we're going to see Denial versus Enemy. Now, these two teams, obviously, Enemy expected to do very well totally throughout the season. They've done well, coming number 1 in the last split as well. However, coming up against Denial with a couple of former teammates that are still in the running.
Well, both teams doing a great job already to start off the SPL with 3 points. We saw Enemy take out Eager, Denial taking out Allegiance earlier on in the first week, and now they're going to face each other. So unless they get another split, one of these teams is going to topple over the other.
Where's your money on there for this one? Do you expect a split here, or do you expect a 2-0 for either team?
I mean, looking at the talent pool for both of these teams, the smart money I would say is a split, but I would lean more towards Enemy here. Just more consistency, more team play.
As a reminder for you all at home, Hurriwind and Homiefe joined the squad this time round as well. So a bit of a stronger lineup, I'd say, on the side of Denial. They did run Xenotronics for a while. They had Masked in and out, Ionic in and out. But now they seem to have condensed it down now with those sore roster changes with picking up both Homiefe and Hurriwind.
And that's the synergy you need between your jungler and middle. We saw that Hurriwind got pushed aside, unfortunately. Homiefe joined him. He still wanted to play with his former mid laner instead of staying with Soar.
Well, let's get into picks and bans and see how these two teams work out, because Enemy, they're on the road up, I want to say, especially with taking games off Panthera as well at DreamHack. Sorry, not at DreamHack, at the Invitational we had here with the Epsilon Invitational.
Yeah, that was quite an improvement coming from Enemy. That's what you want to do as a team. You learn from, even if you don't win, you're always finding the learning tools to always improve in your next future games.
Well, Enemy taking that 2-0 against Eager early on, put them in a very good standing considering Eager class is one of their top competition this split, but still plenty of other competition to deal with, Denial being one of them. Sol banned out first of all.
And Enemy first pick. Now, we don't really see a lot of Guan Yu today, but knowing that it's PainDeViande, he could go for this aggressive warrior style support. Whether or not, if Bacchus and Fafnir are not available, then I could kind of expect for Pain to go either Guan or Odin.
I mean, the big 3 bans so far we've seen this year, at least in this split, Fafnir, Kuang, Nemesis are kind of the top 3, I want to say, overall.
And then there's a lot of comfort bans as well.
There's Susano that's still on the list there that could be banned and picked. Freya's starting to climb up there as well.
Erlang, Shen.
Erlang, Shen. Quite a few things. How are you, though? And there's the Nemesis, which tells me Kuang is available here for Enemy to first pick. But they're not going to go with that.
Not at all. They have a lot of options for Shattered. He likes to play the utility style jungler to set up chaos in a lot of situations where he'll just run the Janus and he'll get the long range snipes.
There's a problem though, Tolly, because Denial have Homiefe, and Homiefe is not scared to play the Kuang, and he can really go off with that god, and we're not as shocked to see it locked in there as well now. You leave it up, he's going to get taken.
And with Hurriwind in the mid lane, it's more than likely going to be that Neith. We saw it before where it was an Uller Neith in one of their games against Allegiance, but it was the Neith for Hurriwind instead of the Uller, which is surprising because we usually see Hurriwind play the Uller.
Well, still a flex pick with the Neith there for Denial as it goes back over to Enemy again. Will they look at maybe drafting their general, the Guan Yu, early on here, maybe the Bacchus as well, or look for more comfortability? I believe PandaCat is back for this set. I've not heard that he wasn't available, but we may find out later on.
Well, they still did really well with the substitute against Eager, and with Erlang Shen, that's great setup for Agni's with the bomb stuns, the root into the bomb stun, even more damage to follow shortly.
Khaos the real only one that we've seen pulling out the Agni as of late. He's really comfortable on this god. He likes what he brings to the team composition here. Dot damage pretty good against the Kuang for escapability in terms of, when he uses the illusion to escape and disengage, you can dot him, make him bring him out of that. But there's the Freya as well.
Freya late game, a good mixture so far. Erlang Shen going to be very aggressive. Agni's going to be very dependent if whether or not Erlang hits the roots for the bomb stuns. That's something that Enemy needs to lean on. If they don't find the root bomb stun combination, they can't really commit to a team fight.
No, I agree, and I think with Agni and Freya in the duo mid lane here, they're quite a bit of CC on those mages as well, which allows Erlang Shen to potentially be in the jungle here for Shattered this time round. Marauder may run it in the solo lane still, but they could have gone for a hyper-aggressive jungler here that doesn't have much control.
What if it's PainDeViande playing Erlang Shen, same way that Trixtank did yesterday?
We'll see if he pulls it out here. Bacchus was locked in there for Shadowq. Not a real shock to see him go back to that one. As the counterban phase now coming through. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Guan Yu ban though, just in case against the general.
Right as you say that, the general gets banned out. Guan Yu not available for him. And with the Agni, the thing is, normally Enemy runs Guan Yu with Janus in the mid lane, so having that Agni middle, it doesn't provide you the same style that Enemy go for.
It's very true. Ul banned out as well by Enemy. They think Neith could be a flex pick here because Ul has been running before, as you mentioned, for Hurriwind in the mid. Back to Denial again for the second ban. With Guan Yu taken out, I mean, Odin's not really a big factor in this one, I don't want to say, at least on the side of Enemy picking it up.
I mean, for Denial, Odin would be a great pick.
That's true.
for the solo lane, trying to shut down this Agni and the Freya in these team fights, at least force the ultimate out of Freya.
A lot of experience decided now. When you look at their roster down the years, they've had very good performances overall, multiple attendances at multiple lands, mainly world championships for a lot of them, and her taken out as well. So enemy expecting double hunters here, especially with the Kuang jungle.
And like you mentioned, the experience out of enemy between their land play. This is why I kind of give an edge, a slight edge to enemy, because of those land experiences. You just
the recent ones, right?
Yeah, the recent ones specifically in the Epsilon Invitation. But you can never count out the members from Denial. I still think that they have a lot of synergy between Homie, Hurriwind, and Benji and Vetium.
Well, Benji's going to draft the Ravana, and there's enemy answering back with Sobek here. Can solo lane, but at the same time, with General not having anything just yet, I expect that is in the support role. It does mean that the duo lane Sobek Freya are going to be a little bit slow on the wave clear here, though, Toli.
And it's going to be, well, we don't know what the last pick of Denial is. It could be Bacchus Neith. That would be a great idea because the knock up into the root onto Freya, nowhere for her to go. And it's going to be the Arachne for Shattered. He's known to play this before in the past.
He will pull this one out if he feels the matchup is wise for him. Chasing down the Kuang, pretty useful as well with those spiders. Well, they will come into play. The dot damage as well gets me out of the illusion stealth.
It's all about the trail under the Kuang. Once he's in the stealth form, you just see where he goes and you call it out for the rest of your team.
I reckon he's in a pretty good position right now. You don't see it too much in the Pro League here. Nice balance from enemy's composition here, but there's a lot of reliance on the magical damage dealers on enemy to actually do a lot of the setup this game.
And now with Xbalanque being locked in, that's going to be double physical hunter on the side of Denial. They don't really have that much tanky front lines between the Bacchus and the Ravana. You have a very squishy Kuang, but with this double hunter composition, you're trying to set up Kuang for that easy execute.
Well, let's see how this game begins. Enemy starting on the bottom side of the map, as you can see, as they were first pick. And in terms of relics, everything's pretty standard, although Shadowq investing into a sprint early on here. Obviously, Fearno will be playing this game, actually. It's not PainDeViande again. It will be Fearno, and he had a very good performance last time we saw him against Eager.
Did his job, basically. Allowed the rest of his team to make the calls that they needed to do. And Fearno, just like a soldier, leading the general Pain, and that's what he needs to do. Pain electing to hold on to his relic after warding. He wants to be able to spot out the relics on the side of it, Denial.
And as we said, Shadowq with a sprint start this time round as well. It will help out against the Freya with the slows that'll come out from that. And I guess against the Arachne as well, if those spiders are chasing you down, you are slowed during that as well. So I think that's one of the reasons we have seen him pick this up.
Those spiders are so scary, man. If you ever see that in the jungle level 1, Arachne is one of those guys that you just don't really want to contest at level 1 with those spiders.
Yeah, that's OP. That's all I want to say about that. It's just OP. It looks cool as well with 4 spiders just slinging around on the webs there, waiting for it to spawn. No invasions coming out from either team by the looks of it at the start. You do see the deep ward from enemy there. And I'm just going to ward the right and harpies to see if enemy are going to go for those at the start.
And the early mid-jungle synergy between Agni and this Arachne versus the Kuang Neith, one good root is going to spell a lot of trouble if Shattered gets hit by that.
And when I'm actually looking at the lane matchups here, obviously enemy with Freya, Sobek in the duo lane, very slow clear, so they're going to be pushed up by that Xbalanque and Bacchus overall. And then in mid lane as well, Neith and Homiefe here, they will definitely have dominance over Khaos and Shattered in the clear in the mid.
I would expect so as well. Agni level 1, not too much clear, although he's dashing in very aggressively, diagonally positioning himself. Hurriwind elected not to walk over the flame. Sometimes you'll walk over the flame just so that the minions will turn on to Agni.
Yeah, we actually saw that against Paradigm when Lobster was doing it quite a lot, showed his experience there. But right Harpies go the way of Denial, is on the left-hand side there. Denial getting a little bit aggressive up against this double magical lane.
Fearno with only 1 health pod, Vetium with 2. Shadowq doesn't have the meditation, but he has sprint. Maybe they're going to look for an early kill onto this Freya.
It's possible, but as I look at the Harpies on the left and right here for Denial in mid lane, they do pick up both of those. I believe the 5 elementals went the way of enemy here, so at the moment Denial to get off to a nice comfortable start.
And that should allow Hurriwind to hit level 5 very quickly, allow for a lot of pressure in the side lane. With the World Weaver connecting onto Fearno, this is another strategy that Denial can exploit.
Now, we've not mentioned the solo lane here, but Ravana versus Erlang Shen, it's one of those talked about matchups here, Toli, that we, nobody can really decide what they like. A lot of people say they prefer Ravana, a lot of people say they prefer Erlang Shen.
Well, Erlang Shen using a lot of mana during the laning phase. Ravana doesn't really have to do too much here currently, just being able to also build up that shield. Now, the thing is, Ravana has to get close to the wave, and Marauder using his javelin toss will hit the whole wave and Benji at the same time.
That's a good point. The pin circle is just so big at the moment. You can see the shield coming through from the turtle form there. But for now, as expected, Benji's just going to push Marauder onto the town. Marauder going to be quite respectful to this other solo lane. Benji's had a pretty good career for himself so far.
Ever since Season 2 Worlds, at the end of it, he's been making a name for himself, being able to be one of the most dominating soul laners in that competition.
You mentioned that Marauder's been trying to answer back since he joined this squad after his very first game. We really saw him competitive play against Baskin over in that solo lane. He had a rough time there. I always bring that one up because since then, completely different man.
Yeah, level 5 onto Marauder. He's not going to want to really play aggressively here. If he wanted to, he could eventually look for clearing the way first and then look for the back harpy steal.
Still looking for poke there under the tower, but he's not going to find him. Mid lane, though, Khaos under a bit of pressure there. Gets a good stun off Homiefe, but answered back straight away by the World Weaver coming out from Hurriwind.
Hurriwind was looking for the route onto Khaos, just not able to find the positioning. Going to force both of these enemy squads back. And the soul lane, however, a lot of poke ultimates being traded.
Well, Marauder's ult is on cooldown there, as you can see, and he's at half health. Benji has his ult on cooldown too. Slight lead in terms of health overall in that lane for now. Marauder's going to be very respectful.
Mana going into the way. Actually, both of them pretty tied in.
Look at this
mana.
gank. Homiefe round the corner here, positioned for the gank on the Kuang. Marauder hasn't spotted. He walked forward just too early there, but luckily enough, he backsteps quickly enough, and Homiefe did not recognize it. So instead, he'll just come in lane, soak up the experience, head back to his own jungle, ready for the speed.
Speed and Blue are back up, and because the back happened earlier on in mid from Shattered and Khaos, they're going to come back with the completed warrior tab. You can't really contest this if you're the Kuang. You have to respect the items, power spikes on enemy. You just go for your own Speed and Blue.
Well, left-hand side, you saw an invade coming out of the red buff there from the boys of enemy. I'm not sure if they actually picked that one up. I think they did, actually. No, to lie, they didn't pick it up, and it did get reset, but now with 3 members of taking the speed buff from enemy, they can rotate all the way across the map and secure this steal for themselves.
It's because of the power spikes of these items. Still yet to back is Homie and Hurriwind, not able to finish off the Transcendence in the dual lane as well. Obviously, they still wanted to farm the warrior type, not available for Vetium quite yet.
A little bit risky from Homiefe there, going towards him like that. If it was a random spiderling who got thrown out by Shattered, could have potentially found out Kuang out of position. But in the end, the right Harpies go to enemy, so they answer back a little bit of that early gold they lost at the Harpies.
Denial going to go for the left side mid Harpies, but look at this. They're going to get flanked. Homiefe might be in a little bit of trouble. Has to retreat.
Got to be careful. He's a bit low on mana here. Enough for 2 abilities at max. Got to try and back, but Shattered may spot this out in time, and he will do. You know, illusion on cooldown, and Khaos doesn't know which way he's going to go. Homiefe stealth's about to go down, but a very, very, very good ultimate by Vetium there. That was amazing.
Without that ultimate, Homiefe would have gotten spotted out. PainDeViande would have found the plug, which would have forced out the purification onto Homiefe anyway, so he would have survived more than likely, but then that would have set up enemy for a kill in the future.
That's true, and on top of that, I mean, why not use a Xbalanque kill that early? It's not that important in the laning phase for now. If you're not looking for a pick straight away, save your jungler, save the first blood.
It's trading the ultimate from Xbalanque versus the purification onto Homiefe, so this is a great strategy. Denial utilizing all their globals.
But it shows the communication side of Denial here as well. That's a very key one. Homiefe clearly communicating he was in a lot of trouble, and immediately Vetium responded with the global ultimate back. It's something that you don't necessarily hear from teams that are just new to farm.
Homie rotating into the solo lane, World Weaver being used as well. Both solo laners' ultimates were traded out yet again. There's a lot of pressure in North America so far in the solo lane from we saw last set.
But in the jungle here, Shad was waiting for Homiefe, and the spiderlings are on him. He's still going to get chased down. Still, the dot damage is on, and the speed up is there for Shattered. But can he get in range? The answer is no. Homie will limp away again.
Doesn't want to commit too hard, but he could because there's no World Weaver threat that was used earlier on to Marauder.
It's a good point, especially with Benji going back to base there as well. He may have had an opportunity, but he just didn't feel himself too much. Everyone just continuing to farm up. Gold lead, though, around 300 in favor of enemy here so far.
Not too much, really. The next objective is probably going to be the speed and blue buff on the or the red buff even on the side of Denial. Enemy, they like to group up as a team and unit, and they're going to call out when they all need to back, force the power spikes that they really want to get.
And talking about power spikes, I'm pretty sure that's why we've not seen too much aggression so far out of either team here, Tolly. They're both happy to farm out a little bit in the early stages, especially with these compositions they have.
And speaking of power spikes, Fearno level 8 with Fatalis finish. Still level 7 is Vetium. Shadowq leaning on that lane a little bit too much, whereas PainDeViande making the rotations in mid more often.
You also see Hurriwind finish that Transcendence already, halfway through the stacks at the minimum here, which will allow him to actually get those World Weavers just dealing a little bit more every time they fire off.
And now that Shattered has the speed buff, he has the option of playing aggressive. After he clears his wave, he can make a rotation towards the red from Denial.
Didn't mention this, but we did actually see PainDeViande pick up Sprint as well at the start of this game. Interesting to see both supports go for this one. I'm surprised we didn't maybe see a Shell or a Meditate coming out from the side of PainDeViande because of the fact that you've got to deal with an Kuang or just the burst damage from the likes likes of a Bacchus and the World Weaver.
Well, the sprint is going to be useful for both teams. Red buff going to be contested. Shatter looking for something with PainDeViande, going to find the knock-up onto Shadowq, but doesn't want to flop.
Good Intoxicate as well, but Shadow instantly responds with his ultimate in tow. The World Weaver is channeled onto him right now, but I believe it hit another member of the team potentially. And Shad, very aggressive, goes back in, and he may have got a call out, forced to purify away, now on the run, but luckily his boys are there as backup.
Just like that, we were talking about the vulnerability of the early game Arachne. Now, granted, she still had the purification, but without that purification, getting caught in the root just spells trouble for all of enemy. They have to all group up just to save Shattered.
Now around the back, they're looking at Kankin Fearno here. Homiefe going to swing around here. Freya, no idea of this. And Vetium going aggressive already. Now he's got backup coming in. Freya still under pressure. No ultimate available, remember. So they're just going to clean up their kill. No ultimate use out of Homiefe as well, because if he did, he probably would have just got purified.
It seems that the whoop was not available as well. Had the opportunity to find the double one. Left side mid Harpies going in the way of Khaos. So Denial credited with first blood. They don't really have anything that they want to do in response, though.
But it's a good start for them. Meanwhile, Shattered, though, trying to answer back by stealing the blue buff here away from Benji. Benji will secure it for himself, though. Just good use of abilities and timing.
And without Shattered having this ultimate, I'm very surprised rather that Denial aren't leaning in the soul lane here. Not allowing Shattered to back would be a good idea for Denial.
You talk about back and Homiefe coming around here looking, and we're actually going to find Shattered here, but Marauder a little bit overextended at the moment, does have transformations available more than likely, but no ultimate to get away. The pin is not going to be enough. The illusion's on the ground waiting, and Benji secures it with the in-hand.
Shattered trying to find the trade, but doesn't have much mana. His ultimate is not available yet either, and this could be really troublesome because Hurriwind has World Weaver. This could be a tier 1 tower dive.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried here that they, for enemy, that they let this out Kuang go through to Homiefe, because Homiefe so far, he's been dictating the pace of this game here.
They first picked Erlang Shen, allowing the Ao Kuang pick on the side of Denial, and so far it's been pretty good. Getting one kill, finding another assist, and they're going to probably find another kill onto this Arachne.
Well, let's see what they can do. The World Weaver is coming through. You called this one out, and Hurriwind gets credit for that one as well. Orchestrated there by both Benji and Homiefe. Enemy can't even look at the goal for you here, as they just weren't in position.
Without the teleport from Marauder, and you have to always worry about Hurriwind's ultimate. There was such a telegraph tower dive for Benji and Homie.
This is a great start for Denial, though. 9 minutes in, 3 kills up. Goal Fury control again with that ward going down by Shadowq here. Really good situation for the Denial boys.
Denial, though, with those 3 kills, they're not really looking to push their lead. Speed buff is respawning for enemy, but they're feeling confident that they're going to find these kills in the future, just grabbing their own speed buff anyway.
They all seem just to be waiting on Homiefe, right? Whenever Homiefe turns up, that's when we see the aggression coming out from Denial now. They're allowing Homiefe to dictate the pace of the rest of the team.
Especially when you already use your ultimate onto Homie and Hurriwind. I guess I respect the discipline out of Denial. They're going to force out enemy, though. Yeah. A little out of position, maybe.
A little bit risky trying to sneak that Goal Fury, if anything, especially with so many members over here. But Homiefe, looking at invading Shattered there, and he did steal that one away from him as well and gets away and maybe thinks about going back in, but he will have sustain there, Shattered on the Arachne. And you see Benji coming around to make sure his jungler can re-secure the speed. Meanwhile, in mid lane, free pickup of Shattered there as Hurriwind and Shadowq combined.
Great belly flop from Shadowq. He had no timing to be able to get up into the clouds for Shattered, not being able to skip.
Well, PainDeViande going a bit aggressive here, looking at the left-hand Harpy. Shadowq may change his mind and go aggressive here onto him, but Khaos forced out by the rotation from Homiefe as well. No red buff or jungle camps from them to really look at here. Denial, Goal Fury still available, but it's still a risk.
So yet again, Denial finding another kill, but these respawn timers are just too short to really find the exploit. And despite that, you already found the speed buff anyway, so going to lean on the soul lane a little bit more.
Lean again, the ult is available one more time. There's a Xbalanque kill and the World Weaver coming through too. Marauder's in a lot of work here. The pin was very good, but it's still not going to stop Homiefe from securing himself another kill.
And he didn't even need to use the ultimate. Homiefe with 100% kill participation, 2 kills, 3 assists. He's everywhere that Denial needs him to be.
And meanwhile in the mid lane, Denial playing very safe here, but Pain's coming in trying to get Hurriwind. Will find the plug, but immediately purified out. So Denial doing the right thing at the right time here, playing safe when they need to, aggressive when they need to.
And with Shattered being level 10, 2 levels behind Homiefe, not really looking too good for him. They're going to try to sneak this Goal Fury, but it might be a little ambitious.
Well, look in the waters is there, and it does a lot of damage with the bombs from Agni too. They will get the Goal Fury enemy, but now the rotation from Denial's here. Homiefe's in, looking towards PainDeViande. Gonna find the slow, but it's immune by the sprint. Still in range with the execute though, so it's a 1 for a Goal Fury exchange.
Great whoop earlier on by Fearno, allowing enemy to secure the Gold Fury. Now finding a kill. This could be a tier 1 mid tower. We have Xbalanque and Neith positioned to siege this out.
It's a good point because you can see that Marauder's cut mid lane here, so that means the tier 1 tower on the right is definitely going to fall down the way of Denial. Not many minions here though for them to really look at tanking this up. It's a little bit too early to expect the fat man Bacchus to really tank it up.
Well, they poked it out quite heavily, and with these two characters on the right for Denial, they're going to regroup in middle to guarantee something. Khaos might get caught out of position.
We'll see if he's noticed. We're coming around the corner, and they actually spot him coming around the burst. He's on half health already. Sanctuary early. Avoids the ult from Benji because of it, though. Drops a bomb. One more hit's enough, and Benji, he'll clean it up, but now there's a return for enemy.
Shattered, making a rotation, but a nice meditate. It's only level Arachne and really don't care about this. They're going to find another kill.
And still Shattered is so low, and he can't get out of it. Hurriwind with a steel backflip back to safety. Benji goes down in trade for the first kill for enemy here, and it goes the way of Freya. Enemy looking for more.
Shadowq finding the nice double flop. PainDeViande a little low. Fearno forced to use the Valkyrie discussion, finding Hurriwind as PainDeViande plucking away in safety.
But the disengaged call comes out as well, so you see the 2-for-2 exchange in the mid lane. Solo and mid laner for jungler and mid laner.
Just a little bit of overcommitment under Khaos in the tower. We saw Benji using his ultimate to dive, as well as Hurriwind using the World Weaver. So not having both at least one of those two ultimates for the remainder of that team fight hurt Denial a little bit, but they still walk away with the speed buff.
Well, they may walk away with it. No, they will not. It was stolen away. Now Homie's in a bit of trouble here. Actually, tell lies. No, he did get it. PainDeViande steals it away and takes it from himself. Homie, very low, and he should. Oh, he's going to shoot back on himself. Oh, what's he doing? I don't know. Well, it was a nice play. I like the idea. He was like, okay, maybe I can. If he's feeling himself a little bit too much there.
He had the ultimate.
I didn't know what he was going to do.
He had the ultimate. He thought that maybe if he get off his cooldowns onto PainDeViande, he would find him in execute threshold, find the quick kill, sustain up a little bit, and then come back down.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he knew that he was caught in that illusion alleyway there. They knew which way he was going to go, so he doubles back on himself to stay away. I'm like, I'm still not going to be out of range here. Maybe I just go for the kill, but he missed it and ends up paying with his life anyway. 8-3 is the scoreline now. Very fast-paced game again. We've seen a lot of fast-paced games over in NA today.
Very much so. Very much so. And the experience still in the favor of Denial a little bit. Enemy not able to capitalize a little bit off of these 3 kills. Not able to put any damage on these towers.
Continuing farming up right hand side now because Benji's taking down that tier 1 tower. A bit more open, and Marauder pinned under his tier 1 tower a little bit more now. 600 gold down on his opposition solo laner.
Having the meditate for both of these solo laners. Benji going to be in a 1v3 spot, but he's at full health. Pain is a little low. Marauder not much mana as well.
Yeah, Marauder has no mana. He's going to get hit by a World Weaver. No rotation coming out just yet from Denial. A little bit delayed, I should say. Shadowq is on his way. Khaos trying to force things onto Benji here, but Ravana not really too worried about it. Instead, Khaos going to be forced back onto his tower.
Dashing onto the tower. And I like the rotation from enemy because the Gold Fury is still down for a little bit longer. Vetium just going to split push on the left-hand side with this rotation from Fearno in the mid. Now, this is going to be dependent on if Homiefe can zone out Fearno, then this tier 1 left tower could potentially fall.
It's true, because you saw the pressure on right-hand side. Mid lane got pressure, so you saw the teleport from Marauder and the rotation from Fearno. And because of that, now Vetium gets some free farm in the left-hand side, can take 1-2 waves down, and maybe not even get answered back.
Homiefe allows Fearno to make the rotation. A little bit of mid-pressure on the side of Denial, looking for somebody out of position, but they're standing over a sentry from enemy.
High kill participation from multiple members of Denial here. All the kill participation is on the side of Homiefe, 100% so far. 3, 1, and 5. Really good situation for him to be in. But didn't go for Polynomicon, surprisingly enough. Went for the Bankrupts.
No, not quite yet. Can still pick it up later. That's no problem at all. This is what you need out of your jungler, to have that 100% kill participation, to find the snowball. 2 levels ahead from Shattered, and it's Arachne. It's really hard to play from behind as an Arachne.
That's true. And when you see Vetium there as well, and the Xbalanque, hasn't done much apart from farmed in the lane. We've not really tuned in to see him going aggressive or anything like that. But what he has done is had those ultimates that have really impacted things. And now, as I say, he's not seen him go aggressive. Well, he is when Homiefe shows up.
And finding the kill very easily, not even wanting to use the ultimate because he's buying time. It's going to be enemy sneaking the Fire Giant. We see Benji in the solo lane, but he has no idea. He's getting zoned out by Pain.
This is a good call from enemy. If they can bring it down with still no one noticing. But Pain being on this side of the map says, what the hell are you doing over here? Benji may recognize this just in time, and the boys are Denial too. Pain kind of gave the game away, and in comes Denial.
The Fire Giant's going to get leashed away. Marauder's going to fall. Khaos gets executed mid-dash, and Denial, they want more.
Oh, he's holding the Fire Giant at the same time. PainDeViande's the only one here to defend. Fire Giant gets reset, but Shad's on the run. Not for long, because the the Spirit Arrow comes through. World Weaver, I should say. And now it's Denial at 16 minutes. They can take the Fire Giant. It's still not full health.
Just slightly miscalculated their damage output at this stage. It's still very early. It's the 16-minute mark. To be fair, though, we saw the aggressive play from enemy against Panthera at the Epsilon Invitational. I think it was game number 2 where they got a 16 or 17-minute Fire Giant. They were able to sneak it, but this time around, not so fortunate. However, I believe if Fearno got off his ultimate on the left-hand side just to buy a little bit more time, that could have secured the Fire Giant.
There's 2 things you look at. Fearno maybe all in to buy a bit more time if he could have. At the same time, PainDeViande being that far over on the right-hand side when the Golf was about to come up is very strange to see his support all the way over there, right? So, and he hung around there for such a long period, but Benji's like, why are you still here?
Well, something's fishy.
Where's everybody else in the map? Why are you still here? And then he's like, well, I guess they're doing fire. It gets noticed, and because of that, Denial come in.
And some of the knockups, unfortunately, connecting onto enemy. Khaos getting knocked up. He was very low. Once the rotation from Homiefe came out, was able to execute him mid-dash.
And that's a really big one for them now because the Fire Giant and the Gold View are going the way now. The gold lead is starting to stretch even more. We're about 5,000 gold now in favor, and they can start looking at chipping away at these towers.
This lead is just going to keep on growing with a Fire Giant buff. Tier 1 mid already falling, but look at this. Enemy recognizes they can't really fight. They're thinking about split pushing on the left. Shattered, going to stay on left. However, Fearno and PainDeViande, they're going to have to back to defend this Phoenix.
They are. Well, Fearno just got back last of all here, but a couple of minions coming in with 2 frontline tanks should be okay. 2 hunters, remember, and with a Fire Giant buff, they will shred through those Phoenixes very quickly.
But they're being very patient. They don't really want to commit. They're going to go to the tier 1 left tower instead. They don't want to give any more waves to Shattered on the left-hand side to defend their own towers.
Well, Shad recognizes what's going on because they all left the area. Enemy know about it too, so Shad falls back to base. They keep their tier 1 on the left standing, but maybe they're just going to go for the tier 1, tier 2 tower on this left-hand side now, totally.
It's not a bad idea because they have Fire Giant for an additional 2 minutes or so, and with this amount of pressure, Denial, their goal lead right now is about 7,000, but it's going to quickly become 10 after these 2 towers.
And the experience as well. I mean, it's still less than 20 minutes in. Nobody level 20 on either team here. That experience is 10,000 totally. That's 2,000 per player.
That's quite a lot at this stage. It's not even the 20-minute mark. And now we see Vetium already level 17, almost matching a level per minute of the game. And that's not something you normally see out of a hunter.
Well, the #1 team here in enemy are up against it against Denial, and they've kind of pinned themselves into a situation where Denial are on the offense.
And now PainDeViande forced to retreat. Shadowq going to zone out. Nice little move to stop him. They're defending the tier 2 for a little bit longer, but Marauder forced to escape. This should give the tier 2 tower to Denial.
But still, the Fire Giant should be fine for them to continue weathering this. It's still going to be online for another 2 minutes around that. So they can continue just poking away, and farming and poking this tower down.
Benji can easily tank this tower, no problem with this overhead kick especially. Just as long as Hurriwind and Vetium go uncontested, there shouldn't be much troubles.
This looks like a different Denial so far for me, and now they're going to push back enemy one more time. The tier 2 tower will fall down here. Meanwhile, in the jungle, Shadow is waiting in the wings, but because the decision for Benji to go that way, Shadow's in a bit of trouble too now.
Vetium going to take out Marauder. Shattered, forced to use his ultimate. In the sky is Homie. He wants to wait for the landing, not really want to commit though under this Phoenix.
Yeah, especially with how long it takes for that ultimate to come down, but there's Pain trying to zone them out again. Denial don't really care. They're focused on the Phoenix. They're going to take the first Phoenix of the game, less than 20 minutes in.
With the Xbalanque in the Neith, these Phoenixes are going to melt like butter. Left side going down, switching over to the middle. Denial looking to close out the first game.
Can they get the Phoenix here? It looks like they should be able to because they do pick up Shattered there as well. Fearno push back one more time, and now with that one, well, they can head to the right-hand side for the tier 2 if they so choose, and I think that is the wise decision.
You're still not completely late game form to be able to take out the Titan. Like, you're able to win these team fights, sure, but can you take out the Titan and the enemy at the same time? At this stage with those items, not quite yet.
On top of that, you played against enemy as well. Enemy very, very well known for taking the game late. Even if they're behind, they won't surrender. They will still try and fight to the finish. And if they can find a way back in, they will try and find something at the end of the day. But Pain, a little bit out of position there, trying to push up that right-hand side. But it does slow Denial on an assault in it.
Fire Giant buff has faded away for Denial, and that's why they're going to back. They're going to regroup to be able to ward around that spot. Look for the second Fire Giant. Look for the last remaining Phoenix.
just chilling out his enemy now. They just need to farm up more than anything else and just wait for these waves to push in. They're going to be fire minions consistently coming here. So for about a minute and a half here, enemy can get some free farm, some free gold online that they don't have to overextend to really go and pick up. But at the same time, they still need to make sure they're ready for the next fire giant spawn.
You're forcing enemy to worry about 3 lanes at the same time, making the last Phoenix Siege just that much easier. Denial can't really commit if their Titan is getting hit by those fire minions at the same time. So it has to be very calculating about when they aggress.
This Kuang is just having such a good game. Homiefe 4-1-10, still 100% kill participation. And with Pain being this far forward, well, they're going to maybe invest a little bit more in him, but lurking the wars will come through. He's creating a zone enough, though, for the tier 2 tower to be looked at.
Homiefe forced to use the purification with a nice whoop from Fearno. So now tier 2 tower still stands for a little bit longer. Fire Giant has respawned. Denial. They elected to go for that tier 2 surprisingly before the Fire Giant.
I think this is wise, though, because you get the lurking in the waters on cooldown, which means Sobek can't really come in and try and steal it away with that or cause them some issues. They've only got to worry about Khaos and Homiefe. Well, he sees him on the left there.
There's no World Weaver for Hurriwind, so not able to find a really clean and easy pick, but they're going to be able to force out this Fire Giant. Already at half health. Going to spot it around the corner is Marauder, though.
Marauder will be going in for this relatively soon. Actually, no, they're looking at Homiefe at the moment. On zone duty as well is Vetium on the Xbalanque, Shadowq as well. They're trying to swing around the back, but the collapse maybe onto the enemy boys here. Stunned out for a second. Good Spirit Arrow over the walls, going to catch Fearno, and he couldn't get his ultimate off again.
Not at all. The Spirit out connected with the belly flop and the perfect Intoxicate. Khaos very low bench. He's sticking on him. Not going to be able to find the survival.
And Shattered, the last one, running away now from the backside, but maybe chased down here. No, they're looking at Pain, and they do get the root again. How many times are you going to say Hurriwind finds those Spirit Arrows? Because he's got him every time. Homie's in the sky now and could look for more.
Going to find Marauder landing down, doing so much damage. Only level 16 is Marauder, but they don't really care about diving and chasing that. They have a fire minion wave in the mid lane. They have an advantage of 3 players, and they're going to be able to flood into this Titan room.
Denial are going to take game 1 against enemy here already. Last split that we saw these two go at it, Denial only won 1 game against enemy, and so far they've taken that 1 game already in the first game they've had against each other.
My prediction already wrong, and surprisingly enough, I'm still looking at that first pick of the Erlang Shen. It just didn't provide that kind of control because number 1, you give up Kuang, and number 2, you're getting bullied out by a Ravana anyway. So where's the value in that first pick?
I feel more than anything it's the Kuang. I don't really mind the Erlang Shen pick, but if Kuang's up, you can't let it go through to the enemy team, especially when someone like Homiefe is on the other side.
Yeah, that's especially with the Neith as well. We've seen just so much synergy between Homie and Hurriwind the whole time around. 100% kill participation, like you mentioned, from Homiefe in, I think, the whole game.
Yeah,